My sister uninvited me from her engagement party because I'd make her look bad in front of her fiancé's family. 3 days later, she showed up at my apartment begging me to save her wedding. I'm Claire. I'm 28, and I've spent most of my adult life being the family disappointment. Not because I did anything wrong, but because I didn't do everything right the way my younger sister Natalie did. Natalie is 25, she's a marketing coordinator at a tech startup, drives a leased BMW, and has an Instagram feed that looks like a lifestyle magazine. I'm a veterinary technician. I drive a 10-year-old Honda, and my Instagram is mostly pictures of dogs I've helped at the clinic. Our parents have always made it clear who their favorite is. When Natalie got engaged to Connor 6 months ago, Mom cried happy tears for an hour. When I told them I was finally debt-free from vet school 2 years ago, Dad said, "That's nice," and went back to reading the paper. Connor comes from money, old Connecticut money. His parents own a summer house in Martha's Vineyard and winter in Scottsdale, the kind of family that has summered and wintered as verbs. I met Connor twice before the engagement. He seemed fine, polite, a little stiff, the kind of guy who irons his polo shirts. The engagement party was supposed to be at our parents' house in 2 weeks. Mom had been planning it for months. She'd hired a catering company, rented those fancy chair covers, even had the lawn professionally landscaped. This wasn't just a party. This was Mom's chance to impress Connor's parents. I got the call on a Tuesday night. I'd just gotten home from a 12-hour shift. One of our patients, a golden retriever named Buddy, had eaten an entire bag of chocolate chips, and we'd spent most of the day making sure he pulled through. I was exhausted, still wearing my scrubs, heating up leftover pasta. My phone rang. "Mom, Claire, honey, we need to talk about the party." I stirred my pasta, already tired. "What about it?" "Well?" She paused. I heard Dad's voice in the background, low and muffled. "Natalie has been thinking, and with Connor's family coming, she really wants to make the right impression." "Okay." "And she feels like, maybe it would be better if you didn't come." I stopped stirring. "What?" "It's not personal, sweetheart. It's just that Connor's parents are very particular, and Natalie wants everything to be perfect. She's worried that, well, you know how you are, how I am." "You're wonderful, Claire. You know that, but you're not always the most, polished. And this is really important for Natalie's future." My hand gripped the phone so hard my knuckles went white. "So I'm not invited to my own sister's engagement party." "It's not that you're not invited, exactly. It's just that Natalie thinks it might be better if you sat this one out. You understand, don't you? This is about her special day." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the phone across the room. Instead, I said, "Sure, Mom, I understand." "Oh, good, I knew you'd be mature about this. We'll do a family dinner another time, just the 4 of us." She hung up before I could say anything else. I stood there in my kitchen, holding my phone, staring at my reheated pasta. The apartment was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. I felt something crack open in my chest, something that had been held together with duct tape and denial for years. I texted my best friend, Mara. She called me 30 seconds later. "She did what?" I repeated the conversation. Mara swore so loudly I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "Claire, listen to me. This is not okay. This is not normal." "I know. Do you? Because you sound weirdly calm." "I'm tired, March. I'm just really tired." "What are you going to do?" "Nothing. What can I do? It's her party." "You could tell her she's being a horrible person." "She already knows." That Friday, I saw the engagement party photos on Instagram. Natalie had posted 17 stories. The decorations looked beautiful. Mom's hard work had paid off. Connor's parents were there, smiling in their expensive casual wear. Dad was shaking Connor's father's hand. Everyone looked happy. I wasn't in a single photo. It was like I didn't exist. I spent that Saturday volunteering at the animal shelter like I did most weekends. It was the one place I felt like I mattered. The dogs didn't care if I was polished. They just cared that I showed up. Sunday morning, I slept in. I'd turned my phone off the night before because I couldn't handle seeing any more photos. When I finally turned it back on around 10, I had 6 missed calls from Natalie and 4 from Mom. Then my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. Natalie stood there in athleisure wear that probably cost more than my rent. Her eyes were red. Mom was behind her, wringing her hands. I opened the door. "What's wrong?" Natalie pushed past me into my apartment. Everything's wrong. Everything's ruined. Mom followed her in, giving me an apologetic look that wasn't really apologetic at all. Can someone please tell me what's happening? Natalie spun around. Connor's calling off the wedding. I blinked. What? He says I'm not who he thought I was. He says I'm materialistic and shallow, and that I care more about image than substance. Her voice cracked. His parents told him he could do better. I should have felt bad for her. Part of me wanted to, but mostly I felt nothing. I'm sorry, but why are you telling me this? Mom stepped forward. Because we need your help, honey. My help. Natalie wiped her eyes. Connor's parents found out about my debt. What debt? She looked away. Credit cards. I owe $62,000. I stared at her. How? It doesn't matter how. What matters is that Connor's parents think I'm a gold digger now. They think I was using him for his money. And Connor believes them. Were you? Claire! Mom's voice was sharp. Your sister needs support right now, not judgment. Right, support. Like how you supported me last week by uninviting me from the party? Natalie's face hardened. Are you seriously going to make this about you right now? No, Nat. I'm trying to understand why you're in my apartment when you made it very clear I wasn't good enough to be at your party. That was different. How? Because this is an emergency. I crossed my arms. And you think I can help how? Mom jumped in. You could talk to Connor. Tell him that Natalie's not materialistic, that she's a good person. Could I, though? Claire. Mom's voice had that warning tone. Be the bigger person here. I'm tired of being the bigger person, Mom. I've been the bigger person my entire life. I'm the one who got good grades but never got praised because Natalie needed encouragement. I'm the one who paid my own way through school while you paid for Natalie's apartment. I'm the one who shows up to every family dinner, every birthday, every holiday, even though you all treat me like I'm invisible. That's not fair. Natalie's voice was shaking now. You chose to go into a field that doesn't pay well. That's not my fault. You're right. It's not your fault that I'm a vet tech, but it is your fault that you uninvited me from your own engagement party because you were embarrassed by me. I wasn't embarrassed by you. Then what was it, Nat? What about me is so unpolished that I couldn't be trusted around Connor's parents? She didn't answer. Let me guess. I don't dress right. I don't have the right job. I don't drive the right car. I don't post the right things on social media. I'm just not enough. Mom tried again. Honey, this isn't the time. When is the time, Mom? When is it going to be the time for you to actually see me? For you to treat me like I matter? Of course you matter. Then why wasn't I at that party? Silence. Natalie broke first. Fine. You want the truth? Connor's parents asked about you. They saw family photos at the house and asked why you weren't at the party. I told them you couldn't make it. And then, they asked what you did for a living. And when I told them, Connor's mom made this face. She mimicked the expression of polite distaste. And I knew she was judging our whole family because my sister cleans up dog vomit for a living. I'm a veterinary technician. It's the same thing. It's not. And the fact that you think it is says everything about why you're in this situation right now. What's that supposed to mean? It means that you built your entire relationship with Connor on appearances. You leased a car you can't afford. You racked up $60,000 in debt trying to look like someone you're not. And now you're shocked that his parents see through it? Natalie's face went red. At least I have ambition. At least I'm trying to make something of my life. I am making something of my life. I help animals. I save lives. Just because it doesn't come with a fancy title or a big paycheck doesn't mean it's worthless. Girls, please. Mom held up her hands. This isn't productive. Claire, your sister needs your help. Can't you just talk to Connor for her? And say what? That she's not materialistic? We all know that's not true. That she's not shallow? Mom, she literally uninvited me because she was worried I'd make her look bad. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Natalie sank onto my couch, putting her face in her hands. I can't believe this is happening. I'm going to lose everything. You're not losing everything. You're losing a relationship that was built on lies. She looked up at me, mascara smudged under her eyes. Please, Claire, I'm begging you. Just talk to him. Tell him I'm a good person, that I'm worth it. Are you? What? Are you worth it? Because from where I'm standing, you're someone who threw her own sister away like garbage the second it was convenient. You're someone who cares more about what car you drive than about the people who love you. So I'm asking, Nat, are you a good person? She stared at me. Because here's the thing. I would have lied for you. A week ago, if you'd asked me to lie for you, I would have done it. I would have called Connor and told him you were amazing and perfect and that he should marry you tomorrow. But you didn't ask me a week ago. You asked me today, after you made it crystal clear that I'm an embarrassment to you. Mom tried one more time. Claire, think about your family. I am thinking about my family. I'm thinking about how my family has treated me my entire life, and I'm thinking that maybe I deserve better than this. So you're just going to let your sister's life fall apart? Mom's voice was sharp now. You're going to stand there and do nothing while she loses the man she loves. If Connor loved her, none of this would matter. His parents wouldn't matter. My job wouldn't matter. The only thing that would matter is Natalie, but he doesn't love her. He loves the version of her she pretended to be, and I'm not going to help her keep pretending. Natalie stood up. Fine, don't help me. I should have known you'd be too selfish. I'm selfish? I laughed, and it came out bitter. That's rich coming from someone who can't see past her own reflection. Girls, Mom started. No, Mom. Let her talk. Let her tell me all about how selfish I am for not cleaning up her mess. Let her explain how I'm the problem here. Natalie's voice went cold. You're just jealous. You've always been jealous that I'm more successful than you, that I'm prettier, that I have a better life. Had Nat. You had a better life. Past tense. She grabbed her purse. I'm leaving. Don't bother coming to the wedding. Oh wait, there isn't going to be one now, is there? Natalie, wait. Mom followed her to the door. Natalie turned back one more time. You know what? I was right to uninvite you. You are an embarrassment. Not because of your job, because of who you are. They left. The doors slammed hard enough to make my framed print fall off the wall. I stood in the middle of my apartment, shaking. Then I sat down on my couch and cried. Not because I felt bad for Natalie, not because I regretted what I said. I cried because it was over. The pretending was over. The hoping they'd change was over. The being the bigger person was over. And it hurt. Even though it was the right thing, it hurt. That afternoon, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Connor. Can we talk? I stared at the message for a long time. Then I called him. How did you get my number? I asked. From Natalie's phone. Before I left. His voice was quiet. I know this is weird, but I need to ask you something. Okay. Did you know about the debt? No. I found out today when she showed up at my apartment. She went to your apartment? Yeah. She wanted me to call you and tell you she's not materialistic. He laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. That's actually perfect. That's exactly who she is. I'm sorry this happened to you. Are you? Everyone keeps saying they're sorry, but I get the feeling most people saw this coming. I didn't know what to say to that. Can I ask you something else? He said. Sure. Why weren't you at the engagement party? I hesitated. Who said I wasn't? My mom. She was looking at your parents' family photos in the living room. She noticed you weren't in any of the party pictures that your mom kept showing her. She asked me about it, and I realized I'd never actually met you. I thought it was weird that Natalie's only sister wouldn't be at her engagement party. Yeah, it was weird. Did something happen? Were you sick? No. I was uninvited. Silence on the other end. Connor? She uninvited you from her own engagement party. Yeah. Why? Because she was worried I'd make her look bad in front of your family. I'm not, polished enough. More silence. Connor, are you? I'm such an idiot. What? My mom tried to tell me. She said something felt off. She said your parents seemed too focused on impressing us, like they were performing. And then when she asked about you and why you weren't there, your mom got weird and defensive. My mom said it reminded her of families who hide the relatives they're ashamed of. That's pretty accurate, actually. And I told her she was being judgmental. I defended Natalie. I said she came from a good family, that you guys were probably just busy with work or something. It's not your fault, Connor. Yes, it is. I should have seen it. All the signs were there. The way she always wanted to go to the most expensive restaurants. The way she'd get upset if I suggested we stay in instead of going out. The way she talked about her coworkers, always comparing herself to them. I thought she was ambitious. Turns out she was just keeping score. For what it's worth, I think you dodged a bullet. Yeah, my mom said the same thing. He paused. She also said I should reach out to you. She said anyone who got uninvited from their own sister's party for not being polished enough while working as a vet tech is probably the only genuine person in that family. Your mom sounds smart. She is. Terrifying but smart. He laughed a little. Look, I know this is bizarre, but would you want to get coffee sometime? Just to talk. I feel like I need to understand what I was actually getting into. Connor, I don't think. Not as a date, he said quickly. God, no. I just need someone to be honest with me, and I get the feeling you're one of the few people in your family who knows how to do that. I thought about it. Okay, coffee. Really? Really? But you're buying. You're the one with the Martha's Vineyard summer house. He laughed, and this time it sounded real. Deal. We met at a coffee shop near my apartment 2 days later. Connor showed up in jeans and a wrinkled t-shirt. It was the most casual I'd ever seen him. Sorry, he said, gesturing at his outfit. I'm trying out this thing where I stop ironing my polo shirts. I smiled. Looks good on you. We talked for 3 hours. He told me about how he met Natalie, about the red flags he ignored, about the way she'd always steer conversations away from anything real. I told him about growing up as the invisible daughter, about the engagement party, about showing up to holidays and being treated like an afterthought. That's abuse, he said at one point. What? What you're describing? That's emotional abuse, you know that, right? I'd never thought about it that way. I mean, it's not like they hit me or anything. Abuse isn't just physical, Claire. The way they've treated you, making you feel invisible, constantly prioritizing your sister, uninviting you from family events that's not normal. That's not okay. Something shifted in me when he said that, like a door I didn't know was locked suddenly opened. I'm not trying to be dramatic, he continued, but my mom's a therapist. I've heard her talk about family dynamics like this, and yours isn't healthy. So what do I do? Whatever you need to do to protect yourself. The next day, Natalie called. I didn't answer. She called again, and again. On the 4th call, I picked up. What? I'm sorry, her voice was small. Claire, I'm so sorry. For what specifically? For everything. For the party. For what I said at your apartment. For taking you for granted. For being a terrible sister. Okay. Okay, that's it? What do you want me to say, Nat? I want you to forgive me. I want us to go back to normal. Normal wasn't good. Normal was you treating me like I didn't matter. So no, I don't want to go back to normal. Then what do you want? I want you to actually change. Not just apologize because you lost Connor and now you're alone. Actually change how you treat people. Starting with me. I will, I promise. We'll see. What does that mean? It means I'm not letting you back in my life until I see that you mean it. Words are easy, Nat. Actions are hard. She was quiet for a long moment. Connor called me yesterday. He said you two got coffee. Yeah. Are you trying to steal him from me? I almost hung up. And there it is. What? You apologized for 30 seconds before making this about you again. Before accusing me of stealing your ex-fiancé. That's who you are, Nat. And until that changes, we don't have anything else to talk about. I hung up. Mom called an hour later. What did you say to your sister? She's devastated. I told her the truth. The truth doesn't have to be cruel, Claire. It wasn't cruel, it was honest. There's a difference. She's your sister. You're supposed to support her. She's your daughter. You're supposed to love both of us equally, but you don't, you never have. That's not true. Mom, you uninvited me from her engagement party. You didn't fight for me. You didn't tell her it was wrong. You just went along with it because you always go along with whatever Natalie wants. I was trying to keep the peace. No, you were trying to keep Natalie happy, and you were willing to sacrifice me to do it. Claire, I need some space, Mom. From you, from Natalie, from all of it. How much space? I don't know yet, but I'll let you know when I'm ready. I hung up before she could argue. That weekend, Connor texted me. My mom wants to meet you. Is that weird? It was weird, but I said yes anyway. We met at a restaurant in Greenwich. Connor's mom, Patricia, was exactly what I expected, elegant, sharp-eyed, wearing pearls and a look that said she didn't miss anything. Claire, She shook my hand firmly. Thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting me. We ordered lunch. Patricia asked me about my work, and I told her about the clinic, about the animals I helped, about Buddy the chocolate-eating golden retriever. She listened like she actually cared. Connor told me about your family situation, she said after our food arrived. I hope you don't mind. I don't mind. I'm sorry you went through that. No one should be made to feel invisible in their own family. Thank you. I'm also sorry my presence contributed to it. If I'd known that Natalie uninvited you because she was worried about impressing us, I would have said something. It's not your fault. You didn't know. Still, she took a sip of her wine. I'm glad Connor found you, not romantically, she added quickly with a small smile. But as a friend, he needs people in his life who will be honest with him. He seems pretty honest himself. He is now, but he wasn't always. We raised him with a lot of privilege, and sometimes privilege makes it hard to see reality. Natalie told him what he wanted to hear. You tell him what he needs to hear. That's valuable. After lunch, as we were saying goodbye, Patricia hugged me. It was brief but warm. If you ever need anything, she said, please don't hesitate to call. I mean that. I didn't know what to do with that kind of kindness from someone else's mother. So I just said thank you. 2 months went by. I didn't talk to Natalie. I talked to Mom twice, brief conversations where she tried to convince me to work things out, and I reminded her that I was still waiting for an apology from her, not just Natalie. Dad called once. That was new. Your mother says you're not talking to us. I'm talking to you right now, Dad. You know what I mean. Yeah, I do. I'm not attending family events until some things change. What things? Things like treating me like I exist, like I matter. He was quiet for a long time. You've always been the easy one, Claire. You never caused problems. You never needed anything. I needed a lot of things, Dad. You just never noticed. Another long pause. Your mother and I, we're not perfect. I'm not asking for perfect. I'm asking for basic respect. That's fair, he sighed. I'll work on it. It wasn't much. But it was more than he'd ever given me before. Connor and I stayed friends. We'd get coffee every few weeks, talk about our lives. He started dating someone new, a woman named Rachel who worked at his company. She seemed nice, normal, the kind of person who split the check and didn't care about summer houses. One day, 3 months after everything fell apart, I got a letter in the mail. From Natalie. I almost threw it away, but curiosity won. It was 5 pages, handwritten. She talked about going to therapy, about realizing how badly she'd treated me, about understanding that her entire identity had been built on comparing herself to other people. She said she was working on paying off her debt. She'd moved into a smaller apartment, sold the BMW, got a second job bartending on weekends. The last paragraph said, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect us to be close again. But I want you to know that I see now what I couldn't see before. You were never the embarrassment. I was. And I'm sorry it took losing everything to figure that out. I folded the letter and put it in a drawer. A week later, I texted her. Got your letter. Thank you for writing it. She responded immediately. Does this mean we can talk? Not yet. But maybe someday. I'll wait as long as you need. Good. That Christmas, I didn't go to my parents' house. I volunteered at the animal shelter instead, helping with the holiday adoption event. Connor stopped by with Rachel. Patricia came too, bringing fancy cookies and helping walk dogs. You know, Patricia said at one point, watching a family meet their new puppy, family isn't always the people you're born to. I'm starting to figure that out. Good, she smiled, because you're welcome at our table anytime. And I mean that literally. We're having people over for New Year's. You should come. I did go. The house was warm and full of people who asked me real questions and listened to my answers. Connor's younger sister, Emily, spent an hour showing me pictures of her college's veterinary program because she was thinking of applying. At midnight, when everyone was cheering and hugging, Patricia found me on the terrace where I'd stepped out for air. Happy New Year, Claire. Happy New Year. Are you okay? Yeah, I am. That's weird, right? After everything, I'm actually okay. That's not weird. That's growth. She put a hand on my shoulder. You chose yourself. That's never wrong. In February, Natalie asked if we could meet for coffee. I said yes. She looked different. Older somehow, but in a good way. Less makeup, simpler clothes, like she'd stopped performing and started existing. "Thank you for meeting me," she said. "You're welcome. I've been thinking about what you said, about actions being harder than words. And I want to show you I'm different. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to figure it out." "Okay." We talked for an hour. It was awkward, but not terrible. When we left, she hugged me. I hugged her back. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a start. The thing about rebuilding is that it's slow. There's no grand moment where everything fixes itself. There are just small steps, tiny movements forward, little choices to try again. Some days I miss having a normal family. Most days I'm grateful I chose truth over comfort. Because here's what I learned. You can't make people value you. You can't force them to see you, and you definitely can't sacrifice yourself to make them happy. But you can walk away. You can build something new. You can find people who choose you back. And that's exactly what I did. My name is Claire. I'm a veterinary technician. I drive a Honda, and for the first time in my life, I'm enough exactly as I am.